The left is at it once again, going out and shooting and deleting a bunch of people. We also have more news out there regarding housing bailout sparking racial lawsuits and DC's budget standoff. So we could have another, government shutdown here in a matter of weeks, which is just lovely. So you got to always appreciate how the people in Congress are going to tell you how to live your life and how to spend your money and where your money goes. But they can't even do a simple budget to keep things together. Well, it's good seeing all of you. Hopefully everybody's having a lovely week. With that being said, we're jumping right into the news. There was a deadly attack in Dallas yesterday. Of course, this isn't going viral. Well, because it goes against the media narrative, and we're going to break it down. So a shooter opened fire on an ICE facility in Dallas on Wednesday, deleting multiple immigrant detainees. So hold on to that, because the narrative shifted really quickly on this one. So, which is terrible, by the way. These people, these innocent people, got deleted. So the shooter opened fire on an ICE facility and basically deleted these immigrant detainees. The gunman shot 3 of them. 2 of them died from their wounds. Then the shooter turned the gun on himself and deleted himself and died on scene. Now, photos of the aftermath of the attack showed the bullet struck windows and walls inside the facility, but no law enforcement personnel were injured. Federal law enforcement sources tell the Daily Wire that authorities believe that the shooter was trying to shoot at ICE officers when he aimed at an unmarked van, thinking that the van had a bunch of ICE agents inside of it, but in reality, the van was holding illegal immigrant detainees who were being walked in for processing. So the guy deleted people that he allegedly supports because he's seen videos online of these ICE agents leaving vans and rounding people up at like a Home Depot. So he just deleted innocent people. And by the way, even if he was to delete the ICE officers, they're still innocent people. The shooter reports indicate that he was 29 years old. While not much is known about his history, authorities say he did give a glimpse into his motive, leaving shell casings that were engraved once again with the words anti-ICE on it. The FBI is investigating the targeted shooting, and the agency's director, Kash Patel, says the casings prove that there was an ideological motive behind this attack. I would say so. If you see that the engravings have anti-ICE, it's not exactly something that a Republican or conservative or really an independent or anybody with a rational mind would have engraved on their casings. The fatal shooting comes amid an uptick in left-wing violence targeting law enforcement and conservatives. Oh, yeah. And I just want to point out, and I'm not proud of this, by the way, I said for a long time now, the last 8 months, that they are going. I'm surprised that an ICE agent or a law enforcement personnel that's doing immigration hasn't been shot at yet. Do you guys remember me talking about that? It was actually during the riots up in here in LA, where they were rounding people up. And I said that specific thing. I think even on a live stream, I said it multiple times. Like, I can't believe somebody hasn't been shot and deleted. Well, here we are. Now here we are. So there's an uptick, major uptick in leftist violence. And it's not going to stop. If you think the Charlie Kirk thing, and as much as people got brought closer to Christ, the people that got brought closer to Christ were not the people that needed it the most necessarily. Now, I think everybody needs Christ the most. Please understand what I'm trying to say here. What I'm mentioning is the left is the one that needs Christ. The left needs the one that has to come back to reality here and the center. But that's not going to happen. It isn't. These people are so far off the reservation. They are so far gone mentally. There is no bringing them back. They're mentally ill, man. I'm not talking about Democrats. I have friends that are Democrats. They're a little crazy, but I love them. I'm talking about the progressive left, man. These people are unhinged. They will delete you because they disagree with what you say. They are violent. They want to target your children in the school system and through the use of social media as well as entertainment. These people they need help, man. Big time. And it ain't something some drugs can fix necessarily. I don't know. It has to be a life change. So we have that there for you. Let's see if we can get a little bit more coverage on that video clip here online. Let me see if I can find it for you all real quick. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, it's a one-man show here. It is just me. I do everything myself, but thankfully we have lovely moderators that help out. So appreciate and shout out to them. They do not get paid to do it, folks. They are just fans of the show. They enjoy it here. And well, that's what's going on. So appreciate them willing to help. We have this right here with the ICE officials hammering Democrats for fueling attacks. So here we go.
My name is Joshua Johnson. I'm the acting field office director for ICE Dallas. I'll be brief with my comments, but I do want to start off by saying thank you to the Dallas Police Department, Dallas FBI, HSI, CBP, ATF, and virtually every law enforcement officer in North Texas for your support. This is the second time I've had to stand in front of you and talk about a shooter at one of my facilities, and I think that the takeaway from all of this is that the rhetoric has to stop. There are people out there who are seeing what is being placed online, and they're coming and they're doing acts of violence against ICE employees. So that's kind of all I have for today, is that it's just got to stop. It's dangerous, and people are losing their lives. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, but he's talking to the wrong people. Here's the thing. He's talking to all the sane people. All the sane people are like, yeah, I think they should tone down the rhetoric here a little bit. They're not going to. The day that Charlie Kirk was killed, the rhetoric didn't change. They watched a guy get murdered in cold blood in front of his kids, in front of his friends, in front of his followers. And they still didn't change their rhetoric. They're not going to. AOC was just trashing them on the House floor. Like what, last week? It's not going to change. Just because you stand up there, nothing happens. They don't care. There are people that are so far removed from reality, they don't have an actual clue what is going on. For example, you could tie everything back to the education system nowadays. There's no discipline happening in the education system. And so when people say, well, why don't you just talk to them? Why don't you just sit the kids down and have a conversation with them and they'll understand? No, they won't, because they don't care. You can kick them out of the school. They don't care, which is what I think we should start doing. Bigger consequences. You don't want an education? Okay, see you later. Figure it out later. These kids do. We'll go help these ones. They don't care. So here's the image of the anti-ICE engraving or Sharpie, whatever you want to call it, on the rounds. So there's that for you. I guess you only had time for one, not time for writing it on all five there, but whatever. These people are sick. Bunch of psychos, man. I'm so tired of psychos just running around everywhere.
Good morning.
This is a common theme of the left. The person's either trans or probably was with somebody. So let's see some updates here regarding this. It says here, authorities identified the gunman in the sniper attack at the Dallas facility. Okay, it looks like it's this guy, allegedly. And it says Dallas ICE shooter, what we know. Suspect identified, blah, blah, blah. Found, so we know all that. FBI treating case as ideologically motivated violence. Past conviction for marijuana sales in Collin County. Wiped Facebook profile allegedly showed communist Antifa imagery. Oh, wouldn't surprise me. Apparently this is his sister. Well, you shouldn't post his sister online. I'm not saying she has anything to do with it. That's kind of messed up.
My name is Joshua.
Members. It's like that guy's the one that did it. Here's what it looks like in terms of bullets. Now, what are the odds that he sends around and it hits the American flag twice? And it's through the window. Do you think that was maybe a message this guy was trying to send? That he's anti-America, he doesn't like what the flag stands for? Because remember, the left is the ideology, the group that burns the American flag, thinks America's racist and such a terrible country, that it should be socialist, but these same nut jobs don't want to actually go live in like North Korea or anything. Even if you paid for it. Even if you paid for the damn thing, the flight, the moving expenses, they still won't go because it's all BS. They don't actually believe it. When push comes to shove, they don't really believe it. Why? Because your actions speak louder than words. So look at this bullet hole right there. We got that for you. Leftists attacked at Fort Worth ICE facility. A trans radical murdered Catholic children. A leftist murdered Charlie Kirk. A leftist shot up an ABC station. Now there's a sniper attack in Dallas that was probably done by a leftist. So there you go. And people are saying he is connected to Antifa. He, she, not exactly sure. So we got that there for you. Just another leftist attack, and it's becoming the normal. And we're all supposed to live amongst these crazies. And by the way, make sure you guys, you change your rhetoric. Yes, you need to change who you are. They don't have to change who they are. And that is a constant theme from the progressive left. You have to change your reality to fit whatever they're in. They ask of you to do that all the time. Oh, you're looking at a man? Yeah, no, you're looking at a woman. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, yeah, I see the pee-pee swing. I understand. I see the thing swaying between the legs and the two things and the long thing. I see all of it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm being told that's a woman. Mm-hmm. And you have to play into those delusions and realities. And if you don't play into their delusions and realities, they'll fucking kill you, is where they're at right now. And I'm sorry to cuss, but there's no better word to put into that. They will kill you immediately because you don't play into their delusions. Sorry. That's some pretty crazy stuff that we've seen throughout history where they just start deleting you for not believing in what you want. Wrote an entire book called Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. Matter of fact, I'll hold up the coffee. Sorry, copy. I just had coffee. Yikes. This book here, it is written by me. There's real words in it. I'm telling you, it is timely. It's almost like I prophesied this damn thing. I don't know, folks. I have no idea where things go in this country. It's only going to get worse, in my opinion. It is. These people don't care about life. It's like terrorists. That's why Donald Trump wants to designate these people as terrorists. They don't mind deleting themselves as long as they got a bunch of other people. They don't care. Remember, conservatives are terrible. Conservatives are bad. Why? What do? We don't do anything. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So we got that there for you. Furthermore, Biden housing bailout spark racial backlash. Uh-oh, here's the racism again. Oh, it's never going to end. A $10 billion coronavirus era housing bailout paid American mortgages and even the HOA dues. Oh, gotcha. Okay. But 40% of the funds went to Black Americans due to the program, including illicit racial preferences. Oh, wait a minute. Stop it. Are you saying Joe Biden was racist? You mean the guy that told a bunch of black people that they're not black if they didn't vote for the guy? Him? Really? Oh, okay. You mean Joe Biden? Right? The guy that said that Mitt Romney gonna put y'all back in chains? That guy? Oh, okay. You mean the guy that his own vice president for years called the guy racist? That guy? Now, some white residents are suing their state, saying the government illegally withheld assistance from them based on their race. No, no, you can't. Reparations, basically. Yeah, they deserve it more than you. See, those people went through slavery, and so thus they deserve racial preferences. Oh, wait. None of them went through actual slavery. Gotcha. Okay. They might have outgrowths of slavery. But it always blows my mind that you can't fork your family tree in one generation. That takes multiple generations to do, which the statistics show that only takes one generation. But it's always easier if you keep staying where you're at and you blame everything on racism and you don't better your life. And when you blame everything on racism, then you don't have to change the way that you've been doing things. And when you don't have to change the way you've been doing things, you can play the victim. And when you play the victim, well, it ain't your problem, it's somebody else's problem. And when it's somebody else's problem, that problem is the someone else's you and your wallet. And that's where the reparations come in, even though you didn't do a damn thing, even though you're not racist, even though that you never held slaves, even though your family members never held slaves, anything of the sort, you have to pay for the injustices of somebody else's past. That's messed up. That's called stealing. That's called wrong, but that's what they want. The significance here is that it's one of the largest race-based government wealth transfers in history. And it happened because it came during the COVID pandemic when the United States was hemorrhaging billions of dollars. The program is called the Homeowner Assistance Fund, and it provided people up to 50,000. This is I didn't know it was this much. Hold on a second. If you're on audio, if you're driving, holy crap. Hold on. By the way, this is not for entertainment right now. I'm serious as a heart attack. This is a lot of money. If you are driving, pull over. Holy smokes. The program is called the Homeowner Assistance Fund. And it provided people up to $50,000 to pay housing related bills. It was passed by Congress and required half of the money to go to homeowners at or below median income, while the remainder could be allocated to wealthier individuals with priority given to socially disadvantaged homeowners. What does that mean? Well, they got it right here. Congress didn't define it, and the program was run separately by each state, which received money after submitting a plan to the federal government, but the Biden administration heavily suggested a definition for the states to include in their plans. Those who have been subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice or cultural bias. Talk about an umbrella. Jeez. Anything and everything, basically, is what that says. The presumption, the administration said, is that the following individuals are socially disadvantaged: Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders. Where's the Indians at? They're not disadvantaged? No people from India? Oh. Where? By the way, Asian Americans are in the top bracket. They're outperforming almost all the other races and ethnicities. Same with Indian Americans. Like what? Okay. All right. No, we're just going to make stuff up now. This is fun. How it played out. So in Alabama, 85% of the funds went to Black residents. In Georgia, it was 82%. That's surprising because just based on the fact that half the money was supposed to be doled out based on income, you should have been seeing more people of other races, but only half of the Georgians below the median income are Black. So, there's definitely racial preference there. But that's what you by the way, you can't question this. Any of you patriots in the chat, which I'm looking over here, I'm looking at you. You can't question this. The moment you start questioning it, you're racist. The moment you start questioning it, you don't understand what everybody else is going through because you're just white or Asian or anything other than Black or Hispanic or whatever. Yeah, you don't understand how they are and how they're living. No. You're not on the victim mentality totem pole. That's how it works. Yeah, you don't deserve that money. Oh, you're below their poverty line? Doesn't matter, you're white. Yeah. See, you've had preference. Oh, you're living on the street. Oh, no. See, you still have white privilege. You don't understand. That's a privilege that you have. The privilege is you get to live in the cold and on the street. That's your privilege. You didn't go through what any of these people went through. You didn't get thrown in camps. You weren't a slave. None of your family were slaves. Matter of fact, your family probably owned slaves in the past, even though there's no evidence of that happening. Yeah. By the way, how much money you got in your pocket right now that you're living on the streets? You got a couple bucks on you? Perfect. Give it to the Black people. Give it to the Asian. Give it to everybody else that was victimized. Doesn't matter the race. Yeah, you don't deserve that. You have white privilege. The fact that you're living and you get to breathe air, you're lucky. That's basically the ideology. And according to Connie Coates and the Abraham X. Kennedy and the 1619 Project, you can't change your racism. You just have to deal with it and deal with it in a way that makes you shell out all your money to everybody else and be kissing the feet of every other race because you're racist and you can't fix it just because you're white. Gotcha. It's crazy. It's such a toxic way of thinking. It really is. It really, really is. And it's not going anywhere. It's going to get pushed harder. Wait till you get Gavin Newsom in office, folks. Oh boy, you haven't seen nothing yet. Budget deadline looms over Congress. So here we go. Congress is going to shut down once again. Just lovely. President Trump canceled a meeting with Democratic congressional leaders this week to discuss government funding. The president blasted Democrats' demands as unserious and ridiculous, which I actually believe because normally it is unserious and ridiculous. Nobody wants to talk about that we're $37 trillion in debt. Now, Trump's to blame for this as well. It's not like he gets a free pass. That guy's spending money that we don't have. But every president has done that for the last 20, 30, 40 years. The president blasted Democrats' demands as unserious and ridiculous. The deadline to avert a partial government shutdown is September 30th, so we got 5 days, giving lawmakers less than a week. House Republicans have already passed a clean 7-week funding extension. Wow. Oh, we should be so thankful that we got 7-week funding extension. However, the bill is currently stalled in the Senate, even though the GOP holds the majority. Republicans need 60 votes, which means they need some Democrat support. Do you guys realize that we would have so much more money in our pockets? Like so much more money in our pockets if the government just knew how to do their damn job. Our interest is more than our defense budget category. Let me see if we can get that up. Usually, it hasn't been working lately. But if you look at the debt clock right here, let me zoom in for all of you. Right here is our interest on debt. We pay over $1 trillion on debt. Oh, gee, how much do we pay in defense? Less than $1 trillion. So this right here is the third largest budget item that we pay for. This here is going to pass Social Security. So here's the list of the largest items to the smallest. You pay for Medicare, Medicaid, which is 1.7 trillion. Social Security is 1.5 trillion. Then you go to interest on debt. Then it's defense and war, which one would say is actually should be the real budget item that we spend the most money on, knowing what goes on around the world. These are social programs that was all created by who? Who created the social program? So Social Security, FDR. And by the way, I think it's BS that you are forced by the government to pay into a system that you don't even believe in. I could make vastly more money investing the money that would have gone into Social Security into the market, and I would be like a multimillionaire. But then the great thing is that I have to wait till like I'm in my 70s to properly get it, so that by the time I'm done and dead and gone, passed away, well, that money's just gone at that point. Whereas if I invested it, I get to keep that money and then I could pass it down to children or friends or whoever I wanted. You don't necessarily, and I'm being very careful with that word, necessarily get that with Social Security. After this passes, meaning the interest passes Social Security, it will, listen carefully, it will surpass Medicare, Medicaid to be the largest budget item, meaning we are only paying the interest on the debt. We are never paying down this principal of 37.5 trillion right here. If you're to break it down per citizen, every American owns over $100,000. They owe over $100,000. Every taxpayer, that's all of us in the chat, by the way, welcome. You owe, your portion of this debt is $324,000. And it's only getting worse. Lovely. Now they know what they're doing up there. Yeah, don't worry. They got it all under control. Keep voting for these idiots. They all got it under control. While China, now I'm not saying China's doing any better, but all these other countries are looking back, just waiting for us to implode. By the way, when we implode, they implode. Now, there's rumors out there that, oh, you just keep printing money and doing this and that. Just do some accounting work, not no big deal, rather than just solving the problem. Hey, you know what the problem is? Stop acting like an idiot. How about you stop doing that? That's a good one. I think we can all agree with that. Stop acting like a dumbass and get your stuff in order. You see that all the time with personal finance. It's so funny when you debate people on this whole topic. It's do everything other than actually budget. It's the wildest conversations you will have in your life. And it's somebody, not that I know everything about personal finance, but I educate on personal finance. I was a public accountant. I understand it at least a little bit, just a little bit. It's do everything else other than the actual thing that would solve the problem. And people do that in their lives, in their individual lives, every single day. That is why it plays out in Congress, because people live like they're Congress, and Congress lives like that because that's what people do on an individual level. Usually, if you could break things down to an individual level, it makes sense. And this is where the viewership starts going down, because people are able to relate to this, because people tend to be knuckleheads with their money. And that's just a fact. I used to be that way too, but I follow Dave Ramsey, and I follow him to a T. All right. Well, we have other news, folks. If you are enjoying what you're hearing and seeing, we do this each and every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do have Dark MAGA tonight at 4 p.m., folks. And I believe, and let me just double check this real quick. I believe that's going to be open to everybody to come hang out. And it is, for that fact, it is going to be open for everybody to come hang out. And if you haven't already, make sure that you get yourself some good coffee in the morning. We drink here 1775 coffee. And if you still haven't tried it yet, what are you doing? Now's your shot. Now's your time, baby. If you're wondering, how does this guy have so much energy in the morning? He holds 3 jobs. He's always working. How does he do it? Well, it's with 1775 coffee, folks. Get the 1775 starter kit. They opened up more units here, as always, because you guys buy this stuff up like hotcakes. So if people keep buying, they're still going to be making these starter kits. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard. That's the one I drink. The smooth medium roast, the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focused. You're not going to crash on this stuff. I don't know what they put in this. It's clean as heck. It's just perfect beans. But this right here, what I'm drinking, you can see in the ring. That's how thick I make this coffee, the 1775 stuff. And it'll light your whistle through the rest of the day. All single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free, which I love. Plus you're also getting, and I praise them for this, you get a golden spoon, because you should not be scooping coffee, especially Freedom, with plastic. Only gold, and that's how Donald Trump does it, baby. A frother strong enough to stir your coffee and your mother-in-law's beliefs and her opinions, or him, his, I don't know. We got a lot of mixed people in here. Both men and women. And you get a black 1775 tumbler that's going to keep that thing warm as heck. $170 of coffee and gear for yours for $99. This is for the ones who believe in what Rumble's doing and who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, watching and wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. It is. Spoiler, it is. Yeah, well, you don't understand what I'm saying. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio. Grab your starter kit before they are gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, baby, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. We love 1775 coffee here, baby. Oh, baby. You like to chew your coffee? Basically, Chris. I mean, look, if they made that, I would do it. It's like mud. I would love to not only drink it, but I would love to do one of those coffee mud baths. They don't exist, but they should. And I just rub coffee all over my face. I love it. Absolutely love it. Incredible. All righty. Let's see what else is going on in the news. So there's a big Tylenol pushback right now. So you guys are going to love this. You're going to love it. So Tylenol has had what seems to be a high correlation to autism. So I explained it yesterday. Let me explain it again. You can run in statistics what's called like a linear regression. Or in other words, you can also just do a scatter plot. And it shows the association or connection, where am I at here, between two variables. There we go. And all you do is you take everybody that took Tylenol during their pregnancy, and then you take everybody that has autism, or Tylenol will be on the x-axis, and the y-axis would be autism. And all you would do is just plot a bunch of points on a graph, and then you could draw a linear regression through that. And the closer all the dots are to making a line, shows that there is a strong relationship between the two variables, meaning Tylenol and autism. That doesn't mean and guarantee that is what's causing it, but it's a good starting point for sure to ask more questions and really go down and start doing some actual experiments on this and see if it truly is. That's basically what they did. let's just say, this is crazy. Let's just say that Tylenol is causing autism. The left have been posting videos on social media taking Tylenol like you've never seen somebody take Tylenol before. They are chewing this stuff up like it's candy. And the hilarious thing of it all is, folks, it's bad. They are all, the left have gone unhinged, and they are all taking, the Tylenol sales have never been higher. They are all eating it up. If there is an actual case to be made and a proven case that Tylenol causes autism, you are about to see a lot of autistic left people running around in the streets. I don't mean to laugh, but so let me get this straight. Progressive left aren't able to multiply because they are for abortions up to the point of birth, and in some cases after birth, so they just want to like delete each other. And then they also can't reproduce because a lot of them are lesbian or gay, so they can't have children, so they have to adopt, or in some cases there's some surrogacy stuff going on or whatever. But now to the point to where they are taking Tylenol that could cause, if they are having kids, autism to like the nth degree because they're chewing this stuff like it's candy. And you think they're taking, extra strength. They're doing like extra strength. Give me the good stuff, Tylenol. Well, the crazy thing is Tylenol actually came out and said that they don't recommend their product for pregnancy. So in an effort to thumb their noses at President Donald Trump and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., liberal pregnant women have taken to filming themselves popping Tylenol tablets despite an 8-year-old social media post from the drug maker itself warning against it. Tylenol in 2017 posted this themselves. Hold on. So is this real? We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, they said this shit. Trump's out of his mind. What do you mean? Trump don't know what he's talking about. Tylenol themselves says, yeah, we don't recommend you actually take this during pregnancy. Your kids will come out autistic. And it wasn't even just the one time, by the way. I guess Tylenol's account posted similar statements on several occasions. Oh, here we go. It's almost like Tylenol doesn't want you to use Tylenol while pregnant. So in 2019, they said the same thing. In 2017, March, they said the same thing. In February of 2017, they said the same thing. In September of 2016, they said the same thing. For almost a decade, they've been on social media saying that if you're pregnant or nursing, you probably shouldn't take Tylenol and seek after a healthcare professional. Well, now that the healthcare professionals themselves had inflated grades in education and that they're having to lower the bar on all these assessments to get people into med school because they're not able to actually do it because they didn't have the prerequisites in the first place to get into med school. Now your professionals, yeah, you should start questioning them. I hate to say it, but you should start questioning your professionals. Is it still difficult? Absolutely. Is the bar where it used to be? No way in hell. No way. So just absolutely astonishing that Tylenol's coming out saying, hey, we don't recommend our products for taking, being pregnant. And so now the left are just going crazy on social media, just popping pills left and right. Oh, boy. I mean, the crazy number here is RFK was on a podcast, and I've shared this number before. He said 1 in 12.5 boys are autistic. That's an insane number, man. Absolutely insane number. So here's some clips here, because you might be wondering, well, Brad, show us the proof. Absolutely. Here's some stuff for you. Look at this. So I'm going to mute it because we're going to get hit with copyright. So here's me, a pregnant woman taking Tylenol because I believe in science and not someone who has no medical background. What about the people that made the pill? No medical background for them too, I guess. But remember, follow the science. It would have, you know, it would have made it. The only way that this would have been better was if she was masked up in her own house. Here's another one. Me popping Tylenol while pregnant, because what the F is the government going to do about it? Well, nothing, but that's a risk that you take. And by the way, shout out to the lip filler. This is not somebody that cares, you know, yeah, they're that. Unless those are real, but I could see like the little bump right there. See the little like dips? That's usually lip filler.
About to take Tylenol for my headache while pregnant because I don't take my medical advice from a man who doesn't have a degree in science, healthcare, or medicine.
Yeah, nor should you. You should go seek this information out yourself.
And who had a parasitic brain infection and was addicted to heroin for 14 years. Yeah, I'll trust my doctors who have their degree.
Because somebody has a degree, you should automatically listen to them, folks. See, I have a master's degree. That means you have to listen to me. Yeah, I have a master's degree. I mean, the only thing I go higher is a PhD. You must listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Do you know how many people I've seen with master's degrees, PhD degrees, their heads are so far up there, you know what, that they haven't seen daylight in decades? They don't know. They don't have an actual clue, folks. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to say something I'm going to regret. Folks, on audio, just so you know, she has three bottles of Tylenol. How much Tylenol are you taking? Everybody see this? Whoa! Jeez. Now, I know this is going to come to a shock for all of you. I've actually never been pregnant. And because I've never been pregnant, I know, calm down. Some of you just gasped. Is it normal to take that much Tylenol when you're pregnant? Are ladies? I guess some men in here, we're supposed to be inclusive nowadays, right? I would be misgendering somebody. Everybody can get pregnant, I guess, nowadays, is what I'm being told. Is this a normal thing to do? Not normal. Okay. All right. It's weird. Hey, I don't know what's normal and isn't normal anymore. You can't judge. Not a clue. Wild, wild, wild. All right, we got some breaking news here, folks. Not good news, by the way, just to let you know. Oh boy, here we go. Actually, I'm gonna put these back on because I have a video to play for you. United States Q2 GDP growth revised to 3.8. Jobless claims dropped to 218. So the Bureau of Economic Analysis revised second quarter U.S. GDP growth to a 3.8 annualized rate on September 25th, exceeding forecasts of 3.3, which is great, and marking the strongest expansion since Q3 of 2023. That's all nice. Propelled by a 2.5% rise in consumer spending and investments in artificial intelligence and intellectual property. The Department of Labor reported initial job loss claims fell to 218 for the week of September 20th, below expectations of 235. So we're producing more in a way, but the job numbers are down. So we have this from the CNBC.
Now, on the GDP side, this is our third time around the block on Q2, and we see a really solid revision, 3.8%. I'm a bit shocked, to be honest. Usually the revisions as you get to second and third become smaller and smaller.
Correct.
So 3.8% would be the best quarter going back to, and we have to go back a ways here, till 4.4, and that was the third quarter of 23. Now, it is important to point out that if you look at the first quarter final, down 0.5%. There's a balance there, but the balance is moving in favor and momentum is moving in favor for better growth. Now, on the GDP side.
Yeah, but okay, so this is what I have kind of my ears perk up. Is look where they're saying this was mostly attributed to. Where was it? It was propelled by a 2.5% increase in consumer spending, which is great. People are out spending their money. And what was happening under the Biden administration early on, and that was also leaning into the Trump administration, when he started implementing these tariffs, and you kind of had a pretty steep decline in terms of the market. What people were doing was they were holding on to their money and they weren't spending it. Meaning when people are holding their money into savings, that is extremely bad. You want people putting their money out there in the market. You want people to be spending it and doing things with it so the money is moving. They weren't doing that, which is a massive problem. So this is that part is good news. But look at investments in artificial intelligence and intellectual property, which I find interesting. So this number could decrease for Q3 because all that money was being pumped into it early on because they wanted to get artificial intelligence going. Does that make sense? So we're going to see how this unfolds and where things are going. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm kind of just seeing this now and speculating, but I'm stoked that GDP's up. This is great. This is what we needed. And that plays into kind of Donald Trump's workings of the tariffs, the tax cuts, and then you need that increase in GDP. You have increase in GDP, you got more money coming in. So this is all moving and this is good. Okay. So let's hope this kind of trend continues, but I would like to see the job numbers increase. And, we're also out of summer, right? So we'll kind of see what's going on here. But there's some good news there. Of course, the left is going to find any which way to, oh, that's not good. You don't know what you're talking about. Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. Well, aren't you the same people that were going after Donald Trump saying that we're going to go into depression? He doesn't know how to run the country. He's lost. He doesn't know what he's doing. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, give me a break. People don't know nothing. The other news here, I guess NORAD scrambles jets. So here we go. Russians screwing with us once again. This came out an hour ago. On September 24th, the North American Aerospace Defense Command detected 2 Russian Tu-95 bombers and 2 Su-35 fighters operating in Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone near the Bering Sea. So right there, it's close to Russia. NORAD responded by deploying 1 E-3 Sentry for surveillance, 4 F-16 fighters for identification, and 4 KC-135 tankers for support, conducting safe intercepts as the Russian aircraft remain in international airspace. These encounters have increased since Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, with NORAD reporting 147 foreign military intercepts since 2024. I mean, that's basically every other day, right? That's wild. Primarily involving Russian and Chinese planes near Alaska. And we've talked about this in the past. You just never hear about it. All this stuff is going on every single day with us screwing with them screwing with us. So it's not really news. It's just something that we don't hear about too often. So that's when you know it's kind of a light news day, when they start saying, oh, NORAD scrambles jets to intercept Russian bombers. And then they go on saying, oh, well, just to let you know, it happens basically 147 intercepts per year. It's like, okay, so then this just happens every other day. Now, not necessarily, right? Because you could have 10 intercepts in one day. But you understand the point I'm trying to make is it's common. And this is happening all the time. All the time. But people are, oh, we deployed jets. Oh, it's like, yeah, it's not good that we keep doing that, but that's what we do with each other. We keep going at it. We have other news here from End Wokeness. Let's kind of go through this really quick. We talked about these guys yesterday, where HBCU with a 23% graduation rate chases out 2 white conservatives. So we showed this yesterday. There's this gentleman here who's actually a pretty sharp guy, by the way. I've listened to him do some debates. These guys are going on college campuses with just some, typical camping chairs and just a foldable table and some speakers and cameras, kind of like what Charlie Kirk did early on. And you see the same thing from Steven Crowder, which changed my mind. And they're just going out there having conversations with people. Mind you, Donald Trump gave a ton of money to HBCUs. So here we go. This is them being basically pushed out from having conversation.
You called the East primitive for what? We created y'all knowledge. We created y'all science. We created y'all math. Y'all didn't do shit besides steal. Y'all didn't do anything to your... You guys didn't make shit. You guys touch children. You guys fuck.
Showing them the door.
We walking them to the door, y'all. I don't even know how they got on campus. We gonna figure that out, but I don't know. They need to get like a trespass, like penalty or something, because
Sending them off.
Tell him it's that boy. He thought
This guy's screaming here. You all stole stuff. That you said something about the East, that they came up with the mathematics and the science. I mean, partially it's actually correct. I just want to point that out. But I mean, especially the algebra and stuff coming out of the Middle East. I mean, Middle East used to be dominated with the sciences and the mathematics. But the problem is, look what's happened to that. I want to point out, this guy hasn't done anything either. It fascinates me to know that people love to lump themselves into something that they've never done themselves. This guy hasn't created anything, maybe some music, but I haven't seen this guy solve an equation like Einstein's God equation, for example. Haven't seen you do that. By the way, if the Middle East was so great back when, then what has happened? And he is correct. The Middle East was dominating that a long time ago. None of us were even close to being around. So how is it they went from this over here to dominating the sciences and mathematics to this all the way over here? Not exactly something to be bragging about. And it was capitalism, by the way, and freedom that has sparked the greatest uplift people of in poverty than any other metric out there to attribute to this.
the East primitive. But
The East is pretty primitive, by the way. I mean, they're legitimately still living in huts and, mud houses. And nothing wrong with that. But yes, that's where third world countries predominantly are in the East. There's a few primitive countries here in the Western Hemisphere, but I mean, it's either East or West, man. I mean, yes, majority of primitive cultures are still in the East. And some can make an argument that there's a lot in the West, and I would probably agree with them.
we created y'all knowledge. We created y'all science. We created y'all math. Y'all didn't do shit besides steal.
But he didn't do anything. Yeah, he didn't do anything, though. Okay. It's very tribal way of thinking. So you have Wajahat Ali, I guess his name. My family in Pakistan does not want to come to America thanks to Trump. Pakistanis are staying home. Okay. That might actually be a good thing. Because, see, what you should be doing with your home is cleaning it up. I always mention that. Rather than solving problems, what people would like to do is just leave the problem and then take whatever culture that they left from and try to change the culture of the country that they're immigrating to. Have you all noted? I mean, look at, what's my point? United Kingdom. They're leaving all their Middle Eastern countries and they're going to Western countries, to play out the very thing that helped destroy that country of which they're coming from. And usually it's cultural. And maybe some might say religious. It depends on the person that you're talking to. Doesn't necessarily mean I believe that. I'm just giving you what's being reported. So you have that happening in our country. People immigrate here for our economy, not for our values and not for our creeds and the systems that we've established that we've been known to work. They want to destroy that. They want to dismantle it. Case in point, socialism. You see that with Mamdani in New York City. You see that with Bernie Sanders up in New Hampshire. You see that with AOC from New York. You see all these people start becoming elected. And by the way, if you look at certain places like Minneapolis and others, whole towns are completely Muslim. The people that are being elected there, you can't even talk to a woman, by the way. She will not talk to you, but the Muslim men will.
Found out, Joy, and this pains me as an American. Other countries were laughing at him and laughing at us. I want to tell you all something about Pakistan. My parents are from Pakistan. It's a country with many challenges. My cousin came here from
Listen to that.
My cousin came here from Pakistan. It's a country with many challenges. Pakistan is a country with many challenges. Pakistan is a country with many challenges.
So you should probably fix that. Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't leave the problem necessarily. Sometimes you have to. Like there's no choice, right? I mean, you look at what's going on in some of these communist countries, socialist countries, but the question is, how'd you get there? And is it possible to stay there and fix it? Maybe it's not.
My cousin came here from Pakistan, studied, went back. He was about to come to America. You know what he said? He goes, hey, man, I was about to buy a ticket to America, but things look really bad. I'm just going to stick back in Karachi. When people in Pakistan are looking at us and they're like taking pity.
Yeah.
Joy.
We feel sorry for you. It's a problem.
What we found out.
Yeah, because they probably looked at Democrat-ran cities because they're probably Democrats themselves and go, yeah, you know what? New York doesn't look so good anymore. Portland, Oregon, not so much. Seattle, Washington, Los Angeles, California, no way. Yeah. You want to know who also said this? Not the first time we've heard this before. When all these illegal immigrants were coming from Venezuela, they were going because they had a choosing that they gave them when they were going on those Greyhound buses. When Greg Abbott of Texas and then Doug Ducey of Arizona and then Ron DeSantis of Florida were offering bus services for these people to go into the interior of the country, they were able to go to any Democrat city that they wanted. They got to actually choose, and it was in their own language. These Venezuelans started going to these Democrat-ran cities. This is a real thing. You look it up yourself. We covered it. They ended up self-deporting. Even before Donald Trump pushed all this stuff, they started self-deporting themselves and going back to Venezuela because the Democrat-ran cities were worse than Venezuela. You can, I will always forever remember that news story. It blew my mind because it just goes to show you how bad Democrat-ran areas truly are. It's insane. Alrighty, folks. Well, we'll be back here today, 6 a.m. Jeez, Willies. Our normal show's at 6 a.m. 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the Bald Brad channel. Rumble Premium. It'll be open to everybody, folks. Dark MAGA, that's normally on Rumble Premium, will be open to everybody here. So what would love for you to join us in a matter of, 12-ish hours, 10 hours, something like that. We'll be back here. We go over long form content is a little bit different than our normal programming. We spend more time reading your chat. It's more inclusive. You get to voice your opinion. You get to ask me questions in the chat. We also would like donations with those questions so that it gets highlighted. It's like $1 will get a question in. Stuff like that. Help supports the show. It puts... it helps me pay for all the programming stuff that we do here. But thanks for the regulars, you guys. Big shout out to all of you. Always have a pleasure hanging out with you. Thank you for allowing me to hang out with you guys. And with that being said, pray for this country, pray for Donald Trump, pray for Charlie Kirk, and pray for his family. And let's pray that the left, that God can really influence the left in becoming sane again and come more in the middle so that we can get along as a country. God bless you.